Most conversations about nitric oxide in men's health feel strangely mechanical. People talk about levels, numbers, percentages, as if biology were a gauge on a control panel. Turn it up, and everything downstream simply works. But biology has never behaved like a machine that way. The question that almost never gets asked is a quieter one. When we talk about nitric oxide, are we talking about how much of it exists? Or about whether it actually does anything meaningful where it matters? Those two ideas are often treated as the same thing. They are not. In electrical systems, having voltage present does not guarantee useful work. A signal can exist without coupling. Energy can be there without coherence. Biology, in many ways, behaves the same. For a long time in cardiology, patients came in with chest pain that felt real, limiting, and consistent. Yet when doctors looked at the large coronary arteries, everything appeared normal. Clean. Open. Unobstructed. For years, those patients were told that nothing was wrong. Only later did medicine realize the problem wasn't in the large vessels at all. It was in the microcirculation. In the fine, resistant, regulatory layer that doesn't show up easily on standard imaging. Blood was flowing, technically speaking, but not usefully. The signal existed. The outcome did not. What's important here is that nitric oxide was not absent in these cases. The body was producing it. The pathways were present. Yet the coordination between nitric oxide, microvascular tone, and tissue metabolism was fragmented. Presence did not equal performance. In physics, we would say the system lacked coupling. In biology, we often don't have the language for that. Within the framework of Theory X, nitric oxide isn't treated as a simple vasodilator that turns flow on or off. It's seen as a coordinating molecule, a mediator between movement, signaling, and cellular response. If that mediation breaks down, nitric oxide can exist without producing meaningful change. This matters when we look at tissues that are dense, acidic, and highly dependent on local perfusion rather than global blood flow. Tissues that respond not just to how much blood arrives, but to how precisely flow, signaling, and metabolism are synchronized. In such tissues, function is not determined by supply alone. It's determined by translation. So the real question quietly shifts. Not, how do we increase nitric oxide? But, how effectively is nitric oxide being translated into micro-level action? History has already shown us that entire categories of dysfunction can exist for decades simply because we lack the tools, or the models, to see them. Sometimes the limitation isn't the molecule. It isn't the structure. It's the framework we're using to interpret what working actually means. Within the framework of Theory X, this perspective doesn't replace existing medicine. It doesn't deny established mechanisms. It simply suggests that between structure and lived experience, there may be a missing layer, one defined not by quantity, but by coherence.